Welcome to the Explainer. So, today we're taking a super fascinating, structured look at something so profound, something a ton of people actually go through, but honestly, very few fully understand. We're talking about the spiritual awakening. And listen, if you've been feeling these massive, kind of uncomfortable shifts lately, whether it's in your actual life, your emotions, or just your physical energy, you are absolutely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to map out the incredible and, yeah, sometimes really painful shifts of a spiritual journey. Think of it like a roadmap, so you can see exactly where you are right now, and more importantly, where you're headed.
Let me ask you this. Have you had moments lately where you just completely lose track of time? Like maybe you slip in and out of the flow of your day, and suddenly there's this weird fuzzy gap that just leaves you feeling completely disoriented or ungrounded. Well, I'm sure to tell you, this isn't just you being forgetful. Not at all. These fuzzy gaps in time, they're actually a huge signal that your old energy, basically who and what you used to be, is actively being displaced by the new. It's like the physical world around you and even your own body are literally shifting to accommodate a whole new level of awareness.
Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to give you a really comforting, logical framework for this wild unfoldment of spiritual development. We'll hit four main parts today. First, recognizing the signs of an awakening. Second, navigating the loneliness of growth. Third, exploring the tools you need for the journey. And finally, number four, reaching true spiritual maturity. All right, let's kick things off with phase one, signs of an awakening, recognizing the spark.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we can categorize the bizarre and intense symptoms you might be feeling. Because a spiritual awakening doesn't just happen in your head, right? It's a major energetic shift impacting your entire being. It's literally a system override. We can look at this using what's called the PEMS framework. That's physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So physically, you might experience this really deep fatigue, strange digestive changes, or just sudden body aches. Emotionally, you might swing from intense sadness to this sudden, totally unexplainable anger. Mentally, you'll see those memory gaps we talked about, or a super foggy head, making you wonder, am I losing my mind? And spiritually, you might feel a sudden, really heightened intuition or have these intensely vivid dreams. I promise you are not crazy. Your body is just adjusting to a higher frequency.
And it's not just inside your body either. The universe actually starts to reflect these shifts back to you. You know those repeating numbers, like seeing 111 or 222 on your grocery receipts or your phone's clock? Yeah, that is not just a coincidence. That's a classic symbol of awakening. You'll start experiencing way more synchronicities, those incredibly meaningful coincidences that basically act as the universe's way of confirming you're on the exact right path. Your dreams might become incredibly vivid, packed with all this deep symbolism. You'll also probably feel this sudden, really intense pull toward nature. None of these are accidents. They are external symbols perfectly matching your internal energetic shift.
Moving into phase two, the loneliness of growth and how we navigate that discomfort.
This right here, this is what we call the messy middle of the journey. And man, it can feel incredibly confusing and frankly, super isolating. Suddenly, the ordinary world just feels strange. You start experiencing this profound cognitive dissonance. Basically, your inner spiritual map just no longer matches the outer world. You know, the office politics, the mundane gossip, your old social routines. You start to feel like a ghost at your own dinner table. The conversations you used to totally enjoy, they just feel flat now. You're physically there, but you aren't quite there in the same way anymore. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it normalizes that feeling. Loneliness and awakening is not proof that something has gone wrong. It is often the sign that something deeper has begun. That is so powerful. You are simply mourning the life and the friendships that just don't fit you anymore. That deep grief of outgrowing your old circle and your old identity, that is a completely 100% normal part of the process. And it is absolutely crucial to validate that this loneliness isn't just some emotional phase you're going through. It is pure biology. Think about it. When you disconnect from your old social tribe, your nervous system literally interprets that isolation as danger. Your amygdala lights up, your cortisol levels rise, and your body actually goes into this subtle fight or flight mode. You're stepping into completely unknown territory, and your nervous system is literally losing its old, familiar signals of safety. Once you understand this, it's such a relief. You aren't failing spiritually. Your biology is just playing catch-up to a very visceral reaction to profound change. Okay, so we've covered the hard part. Phase three, tools for the journey, deepening the practice. So the big question, how do we actually survive that messy middle? To manage all these chaotic shifts and quiet down those alarm bells ringing in your nervous system, you need some very specific, deep meditation techniques to bring you back to baseline. It's a step-by-step process. Step 1 is super simple. Just focus on your breath. That anchors you right in the present moment. Step 2 is a body scan, literally moving your awareness from the top of your head all the way down to your toes, just checking in with your physical vessel. Step 3, repeat a meaningful phrase or a mantra. This works wonders for keeping those wandering, anxious thoughts at bay. And finally, step 4 is progressive muscle relaxation, where you actively, physically release all that tension that builds up during these crazy energetic shifts. Let's move to and see how this builds. As you start grounding yourself with those tools, you actually begin to actively manifest your new reality. And there are 5 clear signs you're getting close. You'll see those synchronicities pop up more, you'll feel a consistently higher vibration, and you'll actually start passing the universe's tests, which really just means you're sticking to your new boundaries. But honestly, the absolute most crucial sign, it's when you are no longer clinging to the outcome. You finally release that tight grip, and unintentionally, you start making room in your life for incredible new things to enter. Which brings us to our final stop, Phase 4, reaching spiritual maturity, the ultimate integration. So the crucial point is understanding what the goal actually looks like. All this inner work eventually leads to true, grounded inner strength. Look, in the beginning, spiritual immaturity often looks like a lot of black and white thinking. It's overly idealistic, it's ego-driven, and it operates from a very me-centered place where, let's be honest, you might even feel a little superior to everyone else. But true spiritual maturity, that is totally different. It's flexible, it's realistic, it's incredibly down to earth, and it's fully we-centered. You start to embrace these simple, ordinary things in life without constantly needing to feel, super enlightened. And a huge hallmark of this maturity is how you handle conflict. You respond more calmly instead of just reacting emotionally. You see, true spiritual evolution isn't about floating away on a cloud and escaping the real world. No way. It's about engaging with the real world, but from a profound place of inner stability. When you get triggered, you simply pause, you observe, and then you respond. You start experiencing this deep, beautiful mental clarity, all because you are no longer fighting reality. You're finally flowing right along with it. So, when we zoom out and look at the big picture, the chronological arc of this entire journey becomes so clear. And it's a universal path. It starts on day 1 with that disorienting spark. Then, maybe months later, you're navigating that void of loneliness as the old version of your life falls away. After that, you spend years of practice just grounding yourself with those powerful tools we talked about. And ultimately, it takes a lifetime to fully embody spiritual maturity. Honestly, just knowing this structure exists can be incredibly reassuring when you're feeling totally lost in the emotional chaos of it all. So, we've walked through the spark, the isolation, the tools, and the ultimate destination of maturity. Now, I want to leave you with a question to really think about. Where are you on the path to awakening right now? Are you experiencing those initial fuzzy gaps in time, or are you stepping confidently into your spiritual maturity? The journey is entirely yours, for sure, but as we've seen today, you certainly don't have to walk it without a map. Keep learning, keep growing, and thank you so much for exploring this fascinating roadmap with us in today's Explainer.